What's up guys, Luke here, Luke's Points and Miles. Today I have a video that some of you might find interesting. See, I got an awful credit card. This is a card I don't think I would recommend to anyone. Wait, what? So why the heck did you get it? Well, I'll explain. Guys, this will be a shorter video, but if you'd like to support the channel for free, slap that like button for me and I'll get started. Now, this video was inspired in part by RJ Financial's recent video where he talks about shooting a shot and applying for 18 cards in 6 months, which I really do think is wild, but of course, I definitely understand. See, I'm around 40 active cards deep at the moment, and the sign-up bonuses are just not really there for me like they used to be. I have been growing Player 2's portfolio, but very slowly and strategically. My acquisition technique is not so sophisticated or strategic at all. It's aggressive and sort of blitzkriegish. Apologies for my lack of vocabulary, but I already have my core set of cards and I'm way over 524. Also, I'm not getting approved for new cards with the big issuers anymore. I have one Amex slot left, but there's nothing really of interest over there right now. So I've turned to the smaller issuers. If you follow the channel, you might remember I've gotten cards from a couple credit unions in 2025, and my last card I think was the Avianca Life Miles card from Cardless. Not exactly big leaguers, but this is where I am in the game, and like RJ, I don't have any real need to be conservative or slow down. I already have a couple mortgages and a pretty thick credit profile, so I don't have those restraints that some of the younger guys do. So I got a new card. Let's talk about it. First off, I'm not selling this card or this idea. If you don't feel comfortable with a full speed ahead strategy, then don't try it. If you do, then almost any bonus is a good one, right? Right? Okay, so this is what I did after being heavily influenced by my buddy RJ. For better or for worse, I applied for and was approved for the Turkish Miles and Smiles card issued by, wait, let me look it up. Oh, it's issued by a company called Imprint. So let's quickly go over the card and I'll tell you how I made it worth my time. And trust me, we'll quickly go over the card because there really isn't much to go over. Let's talk about the bonus. The fairly lame bonus. The card earns 40,000 Turkish miles after spending just $3,000 in 90 days. For me, 1 day. While that is a skinny bonus, it's not a lot of spend, and I do value Turkish miles. By that I mean those Turkish miles will be used. I'm thinking as part of a trip to Europe with short stopover in Istanbul. And I'm thinking maybe a solo trip. I do have the ability to transfer to Turkish through Capital One and Citi, so I can plus that up pretty easy. Does this card earn? I guess. This card will earn 3 times on Turkish Airlines purchases, which I don't know anyone that would actually use it for that. There are just too many cards that earn 3 times transferable currencies that way, with way more benefits. But hey, you never know. The card also earns 2 times on dining, groceries, entertainment, and lodging, which again, that's miserable. The only benefit this card provides are from its Visa signature status. So there are a few things there, but nothing worth talking about. And if I'm honest, I'll never really use this card after I receive it. Oh, I almost forgot. The first 5,000 issued cards, they're going to be metal. Here's where you might get a chuckle. I think it's cool to collect some of these cards, and I'll explain why at the end of the video, and I think it'll make sense to maybe just a few of you. So I think we can all agree this is a terrible card. Before we even factor in, it has a $99 annual fee. Once we do that, I'm sure it's a strong no for just about everyone. So what's the deal, Uncle Luke? Okay, here's how I played it, and I think this was at least a marginal value grab. I had a couple expenses and I really wanted an easy bonus. Logically, I should have applied for a no annual fee business card with a decent cash back bonus, but hey, who lives their lives logically? And here's the X factor, boys and girls. Your Uncle Luke purchases IHG and Hilton points when they go on sale for half a penny each. I've already purchased the maximum Hilton points for the year, and I've been waiting for this 100% sale with IHG. Well, the time's come, and I wanted to purchase 500 IHG points for $2,500. That is half a penny each, and I will generally redeem them for almost or over 1 cent per point, when that fourth night is free. I'm actually a huge fan of purchasing points because I really have no illusions about traveling for free. It is completely 100% impossible for me to travel with a family for free. It's just make-believe. But I can double my travel money this way, and I do even better if that spend is earning a bonus. So I applied for the Turkish card and received a temporary virtual card number. 10 minutes after receiving my approval, I purchased 500,000 IHG points for 2,500 bucks. And after that, I paid a miscellaneous bill that would not have earned in any bonus category. So 15 minutes after the approval email, I have earned 40,000, or rather 43,000 Turkish miles for very little work. Now, I will have to pay that $99 fee, so that is an extra factor. For those of you keeping score, you can fly from Chicago or Washington, D.C. to Istanbul in business class for 45,000 Turkish miles. I priced out a few direct flights, and they came out to be between $3,500 and $5,000 for a one-way. So you can value that as you like. I value it as something I would not otherwise ever be able to do, and it would also make my life better. Again, for very little work. Obviously, this card is a one and done. Sorry, Imprint, but it's a really terrible card overall. But I was going to spend that $2,500 anyway. The alternative was to use my Capital One Venture X and earn 5,000 Capital One miles, or maybe I would use my IHG Business Premier and earn 7,500 more IHG points. Overall, I think I'm going to take the 40,000 Turkish over those two choices. Okay, now let's talk about the metal card. I was one of those folks that was lucky enough to grab that Amex 747 Delta card a while back. The dark one, not the lighter colored one. So maybe collecting credit cards is not super cool, but let me explain. I'm taking my son to Rome and Istanbul next year, and I plan on making lifelong memories with him. We're flying back on Turkish, and I think it's important to preserve some of those memories and good feelings. Will this card maybe be a token of that trip or that flight? I hope so. That Delta card reminds me of the first few trips we took as a family down to Miami, and I remember it making my wife so happy to take all her kids on vacation. Remember, not everyone can do that. When I see my IHG card, the first thing I think about is swimming with Carlos during a sunset in the Grand Cayman. And how awesome is that? When I look at one of my Hilton cards, I immediately think of the pool at the Conrad Fort Lauderdale where my son finally started swimming. Corny, yes, but there is no comparing value with memory capital. Traveling like this will always create a positive sense of well-being and maybe some nostalgia when I think back on it. For the next 10 years or so, when my son is learning about the Roman Empire, I get to remind him that he's walked both in Rome and Constantinople. This might be way outside the numbers, but I think it's worth mentioning. Hopefully I didn't get any of you tough guys tearing up with your awesome memories, and you should really never apply for a card because it looks cool, but hey, why not? And I would like to go back to one thing. It's always best to open a card at the right time. Got to get a new roof? Apply for 2 cards. Your fridge breaks down? Get a new credit card, even if the bonus isn't the best out there. And if you are looking for a new card or some bonuses, check out my super cool organized card link in the description below. And guys, if you have stayed all the way to the end of this video, I appreciate it, and I thank every single one of you.